Well, folks, you got to see the video about a week ago where you all got to guess how old these animals were. We put 5 of them up there. Today, we're going to tell you how old they really were. And this is based on tooth data, annualized cementum aging done by Matson's lab. Now, this is the lab that most of the state agencies and federal agencies use, so these folks are dialed in. They do tens of thousands of these a year. And we want you to see how close you were. So the video, there's a link of where the old video was. Now we're going to walk through and we're going to tell you how old each of them were. And it'll be interesting to see how close you were. Now, animal A was this Nevada pronghorn. Matthew shot this one in August of 2020. This thing has mass galore. So, I'm looking at the sheet here that came from Matson's. And that pronghorn, they say, was 6 years old. So, since we shot it in August, it was born in May. It was close to 6.5 years old. That's ancient for a pronghorn. But it's always interesting to read those and see where they come in. I thought, I'll be honest, I thought this buck was 4.5, maybe 5.5. I did not think it was 6.5. And since it was walking around with a limp, I'm surprised it lived that long. Or maybe because it lived that long, that's why I was walking around with a limp. I don't know. But animal B is a Colorado mule deer buck that Marcus shot. Now, that one, I missed this one also. When I saw the footage of it, I thought it was a 4.5-year-old buck. Well, guess what? It's 3.5. So it was shot in November, born in late May. So here it says 3. In other words, 3 years plus however many months. And you know how in most cases they just add a half because by the time you harvest them in the fall, they're about another half-year-old. So animal B from that original video, Marcus's Colorado mule deer buck, was 3.5. So now we followed that up with another Colorado mule deer buck. And this is Jace's Colorado mule deer buck. And I missed this one also, but I missed it the other way. I thought Jace's buck was 2.5. It's 3.5. Crazy. If you look at Marcus's buck on the hoof and Jace's buck on the hoof, those two bucks are the same age. Born the same year, probably born within a week or two of each other. And it shows you how much genetics, food, how well that mother is able to get that fawn going and growing. So, how about that, huh? Animal C, Jace's Colorado mule deer buck, is also 3.5. I thought Marcus's was 4.5, it's 3.5. I thought Jace's was 2.5, it's 3.5. So, then this one, the next one, animal D, is my Uncle Larry's Arizona bull. And I thought this bull was maybe, because it was such a good moisture year in Arizona, I thought maybe it's a 3.5 that's really expressing itself well. But I thought, nah, it's probably more like 4.5. Yeah, I was pretty firm in it being 4.5. Turns out it's 5.5. That's a pretty old bull. You know, it's not ancient, but a public land bull that lives 5.5 years, that's pretty good. Yeah, Arizona has a little bit more control on its harvest, so maybe you'll see more 5.5-year-olds harvested in a state like Arizona than you would a state like, say, an over-the-counter Colorado unit where the harvest is so intense. But again, I wonder how many of you looked at Larry's bull and thought it was 5.5. I did not. I thought it was 4.5. So then the last one, this one I picked properly. when I saw this bull on the hoof, it's a Wyoming bull that I shot. This is animal E from the original video. I thought when it's coming in, I'm like, oh, that's a nice 3.5-year-old 5-point. Boom, shoot him. Walk up there, yeah, that's the 3.5-year-old 5-point. Extract the teeth, look at those, yeah. Well, look at the chart, get it back from Mattson's. Randy's bull from Wyoming, 3.5. I got one of them right. So anyhow, we'll be notifying those of you who were the winners. So watch for that. Michael will be getting in touch with you. And hopefully you enjoyed this. This is part of our idea of taking hunting to some of these further steps. You know, trying to understand the life cycle of these animals, appreciating what they go through, what they live through, trying to learn a little bit more about them, maybe become a better, if you want to call it, judge of what this animal is on the hoof, and practicing that. So hopefully you like it. Watch our YouTube or our Instagram and our Facebook pages in the upcoming months. We're going to take all the rest of these animals that we took in 2022. Animals we took, animal friends took, anything that we had run through at Mattson's. And we're going to do that on Instagram and Facebook, and we're going to do the same giveaways for these $75 gift cards from Mattson's. And that'll start here pretty soon on our social media channels. Thanks for giving your guesses, and thanks for watching.